With regards to the Latin percussion and the use of many different styles and genres on the album, we did that very intentionally because our goal for this project was to reintroduce jazz into the socially provocative music of this era. But we didn't want to do that in a way that left out all of the music that has happened in the United States since jazz's heyday. And so we thought it was imperative to include all of the music that has been touched by jazz or has come from jazz in this album about the 21st century. So it's about our tradition, it's about our heritage, but it's also about all the things that we've been through musically and socially since then.
I think that the reason that we were able to write so polystylistically is because we heard it like that. Like, there's one reason why we should be doing this, and there's a lot of ways we can express it, and there's a lot of ways we know how to.
My approach to compositions is just, I hear something in my head, and I write it down, and I flesh it out, and spin it out, you know? But it's all just this kind of subconscious spilling out of the music that's inside of me. That's a very cliche thing to say, but that's kind of how I feel. That's my compositional process. Matt is the total opposite. His compositions are 100% math. They're these puzzles that he works together with different sets of rules and different formulas. It's all planned out. Everything has a rhyme and reason.
And it works logically, which was what I wanted to do most of all, was to make these rules cohabitate. Make an overarching rule set that enabled me to contain all these different techniques. And Hannah has similar devices to all that, but she hears it first. I think that's something super interesting because that's not something I can do. Like, her story for writing Bismol is something like, yeah, I sat down the Sunday before rehearsals and was like, okay, I'm gonna press play on the tape recorder in my head and then just wrote it down. I'm like, that's magic. That's some witchcraft voodoo, and I don't know how to do that. And then I would show her like my score analysis, and she'd be like, yeah, that's some witchcraft voodoo, I don't know how to do that. So, but at the same time, we genuinely perceived it as all combining. I think because like the why of why we were writing was the same throughout.
We were a little bit worried that the compositions, because we have such different compositional styles, that it was going to sound like two different albums. But it really didn't. It sounds like a cohesive musical project. It was surprising and rewarding that our compositional styles work together. I think that the most important personal attribute in going forward in these types of projects is humility and being able to listen with an open heart. So I have to make decisions about how to go forward with this, but I always try to keep in mind that if someone came to me and said, hey, you know, I think what you're doing is inappropriate or it's appropriation, I would try to receive that with as much of an open heart and with as much humility as possible. I think pride and ego are what gets in the way of it. If someone comes to you and says, hey, I think that's appropriation, and you immediately say, I'm not racist, I have black friends. Like, that's BS. Listen to them. Listen to their voice.
If you just played it down like it looked on the page, you wouldn't get the why. And in this group, especially, the why is super important. The why is everything, you know?
Thing that they're doing that isn't relevant. Political protests going on, human rights in general, all of the riots that have been happening. So it's a pretty relevant record, you know? And that's pretty cool.
It's it goes deeper than just the music. It's definitely kind of like the catch of the group. It's the music's kind of like a mirror to the political issues that are being discussed in the songs. To me, that's kind of what drew me to this project. When Hannah and Matt asked me to be a part of it, I really thought, It's a very cool concept.